My GF ignored me whole and night and then left with an older man. The next day, she accused me of compromising our relationship by letting it happen. I am 22 years old male, my girlfriend 24F of 4 years, and some friends went night clubbing a couple of days ago. It wasn't a heavy night, but she did get quite drunk about halfway through the night. She came up to me outside after disappearing off for a while, holding hands with an older man, and stated she was going to the toilet with him. They both came back about 5 minutes later, but she ignored all my attempts to get her to come with me. They both had their phones out, like they were exchanging numbers, and she just completely refused to come home with me. When I finally got her attention, I told her to go away, and I went home alone. I checked her location when I got home and saw she was at someone else's house in a totally different part of town. Nowhere that she or I know anyone. I found out the following day that it was the same guy's house, but she said she left immediately and that nothing happened between them, whilst also saying she doesn't remember. Most of the night she profusely apologized at first and was crying on the phone to me about the fact that she can't lose me. But we met for coffee the next day, and she said that I should have forced her to come with me, and that I'm to blame for compromising our relationship by letting it happen. I now feel like I've done wrong, and I should have stopped her edit. She also threatened to self-delete herself by hanging. Is this something I should tell her parents about? Or is that not my place update? I went to speak to her yesterday. She has said she is willing to change and get therapy and fight for our relationship. I said the line must be drawn somewhere and broke it off. I have spoken to her mom today and told her about the self-delete threats she made, which she was horrified to hear. Both her and my girlfriend are adamant that she was not unfaithful to me, and part of me does believe that. However, I also never believed that she would come up to me holding another man's hand. Either way, it sounded like her, and her mom blamed me for breaking it off, but I felt like I had no other choice. I did not want to, but I felt like I had to for my own sake. There is the argument that no matter what, I should have stopped her from going home with that man, because who knows what could have happened. But I also know I tried my best in the situation to get her to come home, and I was of the opinion that she had decided to cheat on me, and I wasn't going to stop that. I haven't always been the perfect boyfriend, and perhaps I haven't been there for her at times when she did need me, but I know I have never and would never do what she did. I think I need to give myself permission to say enough is enough, no matter how much you love someone. If it's sacrificing your own mental health, as it has been for me recently, then it is time to call it a day. I feel heartbroken and have been filled with guilt and regret. I'll be all right, I promise. Refresh 2 more posts. My ex-girlfriend cheated on me and now won't let me leave the habit. I lived in our shared apartment because I had nowhere else to go. I went away for the weekend with some friends, and when I returned she told me without warning that she was going on a date. Why does the FI need to know this? Later, I heard her talking to the guy on the phone, and I could hear everything in my own house. We broke up a week ago. I need to move out of this apartment, but I have nowhere else to go right now. How can people treat others like this? You're saying your landlord won't let you, but I'm confused about why she has complete control. If you must, approach it from a safety standpoint, as that's not a safe environment. I know it will cost some money, but I don't think you have an option anymore. You can't stay there. I owe her family money for rent. A long story. But I was forced to rely on them a few months ago due to financial difficulties, and I need to find a place to live. Last revision, an additional post. Mike 22MX24F will splatter me with hot oil. I broke up with my girlfriend a few months ago. I continued to live with her for a couple months afterwards. Long story short, she cheated in front of me on a night out and went home with another man. She then threatened to commit when I asked for space. The aftermath has been chaotic, to say the least. We were renting a 2-bed flat, and for some reason, probably because I didn't stand my ground, it was decided I would move out. I spent 3 months looking for a new place to live. Agents wouldn't respond to me, and it dragged on and on. My landlord knew I wanted to move out, and seemed totally fine about it at the time. Living with my ex during this period wasn't the best. There was a lot of arguments, but for the most part one tried to be an adult about it, that is, until one day she kept looking at my phone, asking about a girl she knew I'd be talking to. Because again, she was always looking. On my phone, I said I don't ask who you're talking to and that I don't care. Please stop asking me about my business because it has nothing to do with you anymore. She went quiet, and about 5 minutes later she surprised me with, I could so easily chuck hot oil in your face and dump your handeten on the pavement whilst laughing at me. I was thinking about that phrase over and over, becoming more and more convinced. I locked my door that evening and went to work the following day. I was so nervous that I ended up calling the police, who were helpful and told me to leave the apartment today, so I did. I went home, packed everything I owned, and left without saying anything. Later, I received texts and emails from her and her mother regarding the context of the red money. I had to borrow money from her granddad to pay the rent, as I was unemployed at the time. Also, a long story, they had a solicitor email our landlord to have me removed from the tenancy, and the landlord went through with it along with a bit of a twisted email to me. I ended up paying them thousands of pounds in rent for a full year, despite me no longer living there. Then again, I signed a contract, but not with her family. It's really frustrating now. Some of you may have read the first part about us actually breaking up and thinking, holy cow, get out of that trouble is... I'd accepted. I would need to live with her until I found somewhere, so I kind of pushed a lot of my anger and pain to the back of my mind. I think this also led to me abusing edibles, to be honest. I've now told her to not contact me ever again, else I'll take legal action. Since then, I felt like I've snapped back, and I'm back to square one of the grieving and healing process. The police, my therapist, my friends, my family all called it abuse. I never thought that label would apply to me. But who does? My life has changed drastically while she kept the apartment in my money, and everyone else goes on without really checking in on me. It's unfair, and I'm learning a hard lesson. I don't have an address to my name, my savings are gone, I don't see many friends, and I don't like my job anymore. I've gotten into a negative spiral over the last few days, and I'm trying to pull myself out before it gets too far. The bright side is that I feel more robust due to it. Or at least I will be after I move into my new home in 3 weeks. I've been seeing a few people, but I still feel hurt and guilty about dating when I'm not ready for a relationship. I should send this to my therapist, but she's on vacation, so please excuse my rant. Pertinent remarks. I hope there is at least one reliable person in your life, Opie. You should take her threat very seriously, and be careful to try to hide your whereabouts from her, and anyone connected to her. I have many people I can trust, so I've done my best to conceal my whereabouts from her and her friends. If you need any confirmation that you're moving forward, I can provide it. Hopefully, this will make you less likely to live with a girl you can't trust in the future. Oh my, I discovered that one. I am so relaxed.